Hi, I'm Shamira Ibrahim, founder of Unveil the Feminine's Soulful Women in Business Circle. I teach conscious women in soulful business who either have started and made that brave leap into soul expressive work, or who would like to do it one day and maybe are confused and stuck, how to embody and own their feminine energy and soul purpose in full expression that makes their heart sing and that is really truly authentic to them in everything they do in their business. And I have found through coaching women globally who are in this position that one of the main sort of challenges and reasons women either never start that business or who have started might find it difficult to get it off the ground or get enough clients to reach self-sustainability, or find the balance of the family life balance with their work so that the work isn't taking over if it does succeed, and avoid burnout and breakdown. One of the main issues that really get in the way of women reaching that beautiful balance is the emotional side of expressing ourselves through our work. It can be absolutely harrowing. It can look like being in absolute freeze mode and not being able to move forward. It can look like being taken out for days in bed because some trauma has been triggered. It can look like being completely foggy and unclear and just don't know where to focus and don't know which one to go after, which idea to go after. It can look like talking yourself out of doing that marketing that you have to do because the event you're putting out or the offer or your calendar needs filling coming up and there's a deadline and not enough people are coming in. It can look like a non-existent or low existence on social media because of the fear of visibility, and that is so prevalent, especially with sensitive, conscious, empathic, beautiful women who have been through a lot. Mostly women have been through so much to get to that place where they can actually do the work they're meant to do. And in that going through so much, the emotional terrain that gets dredged up the moment we go for our heart expression in the world, it can buckle us. And it's as simple as that. It can also look like obviously really negative self-talk that was created in childhood and was never healed. It can look like a lack of honoring for her own gifts. And as a result, energetically, the world just keeps reflecting that back to her with low numbers, low income, not enough people coming in. And that can be crushing. Putting our soul expression through our work into the world, if it works, it's like we're flying in seventh heaven. That's the energy it feels like. And when it doesn't work, it's crushing and shattering. And that's the truth of it. The emotional journey is the piece most women just don't know how big it is. It just happens to us. The emotions come, we're in tears. I used to be in the fetal position, seriously, on my bedroom floor where my office was, in pain, in emotional pain. That's how bad it got. So I didn't have anything like this at the time. I was banging around in my own headspace with my own resistance, trying to figure it out, God bless me, all on my own. And all the gorgeous women who come to me for this work, they've been sort of afflicted by this same misnomer we have in our society, that you've got to do it on your own, you've got to look perfect, and you can't be vulnerable, and you can't be feminine, and emotions are to be pushed down and pushed out and pushed away and not felt. Emotions are your power, they're your guidance, and you learn how to take them and create a little bit of distance from them so that you're not completely overtaken by them, but you are fully embodying them and feeling them, but you're not being them to the point where they are taking you out. And you can then, from that slight distance, interpret what the guidance is and use it to shift whatever needs shifting. That's what emotions are there for. They're not there to torture us and take us out of the game and be pests that we're supposed to squash and deny and brush under the rug and pretend they're not there. That's the worst thing a woman can do for her life. It is seriously like the worst thing. I did it for years. I was programmed and wired that way, and it absolutely tore my life to pieces. And my business was in pieces. So when we go through the cycles that we do go through when we're birthing a business, getting it out there, getting to the next level, with those transitions comes breakdown. But when we're on our own, that it can just take us out of it. We can end up shelving it. We can't do this. It's too hard. I'm not making the money. I need to support the family. And we shelve it for another few years. This is not unheard of. This is really common. Really common. In 12 months, I coached 48 women like this. I know exactly that this is a global phenomenon, and I've been through it multiple times when my soul expression wasn't flowing out of me unhindered, and my heart wasn't beaming out through every bit of communication I was doing, and the money wasn't coming in. So circling is the antidote to all of the above. Coming together with a loving, boundaried, gorgeous group of sensitive, caring women going on the journey with you brings so much to the plate that is absolutely imperative to get through these difficult internal terrains. It's the inner landscape that buckles us every single time, because ultimately everything that's happening outside is a reflection of our energy. So in Circle, you learn how to use your creative process and start mastering it, and manage those emotions and interpret the guidance that's in them so you can shift what you're doing. In Circle, you see your beauty in a way you never have before, because it's being reflected back to you through the beautiful souls that you circle with. And it's impossible to then deny your gifts when so many people around you are celebrating your gifts. So you end up doing this piece that's absolutely central to succeeding long term in soulful business, and that's owning and honoring your own gifts to turn them into gold. There's so much that happens in Circle. There's this energy fill up, you get this boost of energy because of all the energy work we do and all the loving attention your sharing gets. In Circle, nobody interjects or gives their opinion or judges, or it's this 100% safe space for you to be you and process your emotions, so that you don't get blocked on them, so that you don't get stuck on fight, flight, and freeze. As we process those emotions through speaking them honestly and being lovingly held, we bust through, we melt them and move into action. Through Circle, you You know there's a next meeting coming up, so you don't want to come back empty-handed. You know, whatever you said your intentions were going to be for that period of time, you come back and you've done something, and it just pushes you to get stuff done. In Circle, you share your intentions and they get held with you, and your visions get fed energy with you by this beautiful process we do that is just breathtaking. In my circles, it's just, you have to experience it to know what it's like. And I did this process for 12 months in an online group, and seriously, my business exploded. It just went off on stuff I had been stuck on for years. I'm not kidding, years. And that stuckness, it creates this pain, and it's a pain nobody else understands. So if you try and explain it to your family or friends, and they're not sensitive empaths with a soul mission that they're clear about, and they just, they're just not going to get you. And then that compounds the feeling of loneliness. But when you sit in a circle of women who are all on the same boat, you feel understood and seen and witnessed and honored. And so circling brings all of these amazing trainings and processes in one place for you, so you can stock that backpack of yours with the tools you need for this journey of finding your soul expression, making sure that's the way you want to go. And if you've done that already and you've crossed the line, making sure that in the journey of birthing it and putting it out into the world, or if you're a few years down the line, making sure the journey of growing it and sustaining it, this beautiful creation of yours called your soulful business, doesn't push you to break down and burn out. Every stage of this process is different, but the underlying tools we need to make each stage work are similar. And Soulful Women in Business Circle is just going to fill that backpack of yours with every single tool you need in a loving, supportive environment, and with me as your Sherpa. You don't go trekking through Nepal on your own. You get a Sherpa, someone who's been through that rugged, difficult, at times treacherous terrain over and over and over and over again, and they've learnt the hard way how to do it right. And that is me. Multiple breakdowns, multiple burnouts, a long journey from corporate land to finding my soul and spirit and heart, to finding that expression, and then years and years just not knowing how to bring that out to make it a self-sustaining business. So with a Sherpa like that, I can just laser coach you at the drop of a hat and intuitively guide you, so you're not going round the long way. Let's just shortcut this whole thing. So I'd love to see you there. Just book your first one. Just book your first one as your trial. Come and see if you love it, if it's for you, if it fills you up, if it feeds your soul, if it nourishes you, and if it does, jump on board. I can't wait to meet you. Mwah.